How's it going, everybody? We are back again for another Dokkan battle video. So, today I wanted to make just a super quick and easy and simple guide on the LR BABIDI and BUU Prime Battle event. I know a couple of you have asked me personally, what's the best strategy on doing this? What's the most effective way to grind this out easily? So I'll answer this very simple. There is no easier way to grind all 777 medals you need to awaken into the LR version of BABIDI and BUU, right? There is no double XP or anything like that. There is no double medal drop from a certain category or anything like that. It's simply what's the best team that you can use in this event. And there are a couple of different events, a couple of different teams that you can use. But by far, I think the most effective way to grind this event is via LR SCR Prime Battle Frieza, for a number of different reasons. So I'll go over it, right? So number one, this is the current team that I'm using. So for this event, you can only use free-to-play characters that drop from events, whether they are story events, from special events, the previous Prime Battle events, and so on and so forth. You can't use summonable characters, and that also includes summonable characters from World Tournament summons, free-to-play summons, all that. None of that counts. It's only characters that drop from in-game events. So all these above characters you see, these guys too, and also these guys, they all drop from story events and other various special events. So that's the first criteria that you have to assess. What characters you have that drop from events that you can effectively run on a team. Now, me personally, this is the team that I am currently running. I have LR SCR Frieza as my current leader because he is a 4-key leader for extreme class allies, as well as 90% across the board, as well as 3-key and 70% across the board for super class. So he's great for everybody. So I highly recommend, if you don't have this guy, make sure you grind him up, easy A him, do all that beforehand, because he is by far, hands away, the best character to use for this easy A event. He one-shots BABIDI and BUU without question every single time. Without question, he's by far the best unit to use for this event, right? We also have LR Goku Black, or Zamasu Goku, excuse me. Also another great unit as well. They do fantastic damage against BABIDI and BUU without question as well. I have a bunch of key supporters in the free-to-play Jace, the Ainz character, I think Ainz character, as well as the free-to-play Cooler. They're all supporting Frieza, and then Cumber I brought along just for the heck of it because he is an STR unit. BABIDI and BUU's stage is physical throughout the entire event, so bringing as many STR units as possible is always nice. You don't have to run this team though. So here's why, right? You can run an SCR Frieza friend lead and then also run this team as well as this team right here. You can run a free-to-play Pure Saiyan team, which I know a lot of people have been doing. For example, the 8-bit Goku and Vegeta just got their EZA. They're great. Kaioken Goku is great. Trunks and Vegeta, they're great. The Khalifa, Cumber, as I mentioned, all free-to-play characters. They're all pure Saiyans. They're all great, right? So they're fantastic for this event. They would have no difficulty. And if you don't have that, you can run just a pure SCR team as well. Krillin is a great SCR lead, all types, 3-key and 50% across the board. You have the free-to-play Gogeta. You have the newest Great Saiyaman, a Videl unit that literally just dropped last week on Global. The Kid Gohan as well, like I mentioned, the free-to-play Gogeta. All these characters drop from in-game events that you can use them in. It's great, and it's very easy. This is not difficult whatsoever. But like I mentioned before, LR SCR Frieza by far hands in the way the best unit to use for this event. So let's quickly hop into the stages, and I'll break down each individual stage for you.
A few moments later.
Stage 1 of the Prime Battle event, you only fight BABIDI in this stage. This is the stage where the BABIDI unit drops. It has a small % chance to drop for him. It's actually not that small. I think it's what, 30 to 40% chance of him dropping, which isn't too bad, and it's only 10 stamina as well. But like I mentioned before, this is by far the best way to go about it. Put Frieza in the first slot. You have Jason Cumber right behind him as well, and then watch this. Watch this. With the greatest of ease, Frieza comes out with a 2 million attack stat, and then voila, he's dead instantly. Watch. Yep, just like that. Completely one-shots him. I didn't get him this time, but I already have my BABIDI already rainbowed as well. So it's fine for me that I got training items right there. So let's move on to stage 2.
10 seconds later.
So stage 2 of this event is similar as follows. This time around, you fight BABIDI, the very first unit that we saw in stage 1. You fight him, he only has 1 health bar. You fight him for the first phase of the event. Then the second phase occurs, and you fight the TUR version of BABIDI and BUU this time around. 2 health bars, not that difficult whatsoever. Like I previously mentioned, put Frieza in the first slot because it gives himself extra ki when he is facing a when he's in the first slot, right? He gains all that extra ki as well, and then he'll one-shot them without question. And if he doesn't one-shot them, LR Goku Black will follow up right behind him. This is the stage where you then awaken the free-to-play BABIDI unit, the very first version of the card, into the TUR, the unit that we just faced, right? And I'll quickly show you right here in a second.
Much later.
So with the BABIDI medals that drop from that second stage, right, they're 100% guaranteed every single time you run it. You have to run it 15 times. They drop one medal per run, and it costs I believe 15 stamina. It was 15 stamina, 1 medal per run. So you got to do it 15 times, and then you can awaken this free-to-play BABIDI into the TUR version of BABIDI and BUU, right? Then, now let's move on finally to stage 3.
1 hour later.
And then finally, here we are on the final stage of the event, of course. So this is stage 3 of the Prime Battle event. We are now facing the 25 stamina version. We are up against the final battle, LR, BABIDI, and BUU, as you can see him right there. 25 stamina, you gotta go through all 3 phases. BUU, then BUU and BABIDI, and then the LR version of BUU and BABIDI at the end. Only 3 health bars. This is, like I said, put Frieza in the first slot, he'll go to work for you. I can't say it enough that this is not as difficult as it was in previous years, because now the sheer power of our free-to-play units has become so... they've become really strong over the years, especially as I've mentioned, LR STR Frieza, post his EZA makes him one of the best, if not the best free-to-play unit currently in the game right now, I think without question right now. And then, wow, look at that, just one-shots them. You can't get any simpler than that. You can't. So all in all, and then I didn't catch how many medals we got that right there from the link level update. So this costs 25 stamina per run. It doesn't, the drops from the medals vary sometimes. Either you get really lucky. Typically, you're almost always going to get 7, right? 7 is usually just that base number drop. Sometimes you'll get lucky. Sometimes you'll get 10. And then sometimes, if you're really lucky, you'll get a 20 drop, which would be huge for you. And if you're not lucky, you'll just constantly get 7 or maybe even 5 at some point. The drop rate for the medals is varying. It's not 100% guaranteed like in stage 2, where it's 100% guaranteed always 1 for that previous one, right? So what strategy you should be using? So you have the team. Now what should you be doing, right? So number 1, let's quickly go over the whole thing again, right? So the stage 1, the Z-Hard 10 stage 1, BABIDI drops from this stage. You need to grind up 15 copies of him. The first one you keep, the remaining 14 copies you then put into his SA, his super attack, and his hidden potential system, right? Then, for stage 2, you gotta go through the event 15 times to grab all 15 medals to awaken this guy into the TUR, BABIDI, and BUU version, right? And then finally, you need 777 medals to awaken the TUR into the LR version, right? The drop rate of the medals is not 100% guaranteed. Most of the time, like I said, you're always going to get 7. It is 25 stamina. So I wouldn't recommend using your stones if you really want to grind them and just, you know what? just go for it. Use stones. It's 25 stamina. I know that's a lot. But if you don't use stones, it's probably going to take you, I don't know, 4 or 5 days to a week maybe if you're not using stones. It depends on how much stamina you have. Like for someone like me, rank 533, I have almost 200 stamina. That's not really a huge deal for me. Like once, you know, if I really sit down and put my mind to it, I can probably grind this guy out in like 1 or 2 days at best, right? Now, once you do all of that, right, so you Dokkan Awaken them, so I'll show you right here. So 15 medals, I'll have this guy, the TUR version. 777 medals, I'll have the Rainbow version. Now, that only puts them at SA 10, though, out of 20. If you want to, you can grind up another 10 copies of the BABIDI unit. You know, have 1 unit for you to keep, and then put the other 9 copies into his SA. Then do the whole process once more to feed the second LR version into this guy, your Rainbow version, to then have like a free SA 20. You don't have to use any Elder Kais whatsoever. You can do that. It's not really necessary. You know, I wouldn't really recommend it to a lot of players, because like that's, you know, the grind alone just to get them to LR is really tedious. It's long, it's annoying. So I wouldn't recommend it either. I know some people have been grinding a 3rd copy as well because of a potential EZA for them in the future. That's great and all, but let's be realistic here that they're not going to get an EZA for a very long time. A year to 2 years at best or something like that, because we still have all the other Prime Battle EZAs to go through first. We still have Prime Battle LR Trunks, and we also have Prime Battle LR Krillin. So maybe in like a year's time, I can see them possibly. We also have Prime Battle LR Cell as well. So, you know, we have some time before these guys could even think about getting an EZA, right? So you have some time. Like I said, I highly recommend only trying to go for the 1 copy, as I mentioned. Just go for the 1 copy in your set. Now, how do I rate them as a unit? They're okay. Like, as all Prime Battles do, they only have these base, like, stat boosts of, like, 40,000 attack and defense instead of, like, 50, instead of the percentage ones, which is way better than just like, the base one. They are pretty solid, though, because they do seal and stun enemy. So, like, they're a pretty solid, you know, super battle unit, right? I might do, like, 1 or 2 showcases for them. They're like okay, they're just more of like a trophy unit right now until they get an EZA, and then these guys could potentially become a monster, right? Because EZAs, honestly, you know, as we all know, make units just absolutely wild. So, and you know, it's a free-to-play LR. It's a nice addition to your collection as well. So like I said, highly recommend it for you. And then that's it. That's my quick and simple guide. It's probably going to be like 10 minutes or something like that, but you know, it's simple enough, it's easy enough. I figured I try to break this down as simple and easy as possible for you guys, because you know, there's a couple of, I know some of my newer players that often struggle with this, because, you know, why bother, you know, and such like that. So I wanted to get this out there for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys on the next one.
I have spoken.